Welcome back to Shit They Don't Tell You. I'm Nikki Limo.
Hello, and this is the host with the most.
Which one?
Me.
Oh, what about me? I got the second most?
I'm the host with the most.
The most what?
Got it all.
What of all of what?
I got all the most of it.
How much?
So today, what are we talking about?
We are talking about, well, first of all, it's our 200th episode.
Whoa.
200 big ones. Pew, 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 pew.
Bow.
Break up.
True.
Yeah, I feel like it was just yesterday that we did our 100th episode, which is, it's pretty crazy because we only release these once a week. So that's 200 weeks.
Wow.
200 straight weeks of doing this show. And it has come very far from being in a closet in an office in Beverly Hills.
Wait, did we miss some weeks? How long have we been doing the show?
We've been doing this for 4 years now, Steve.
How have we done it for 4 years? There's 52 weeks in a year.
52, 52, 52, 52.
Is that how?
Is 204 or 208.
That's absolutely wild.
But then there's like a couple episodes in there that were reruns.
Right, that makes sense.
I don't know. Anyway, 200 episodes.
Wild.
And our 100 episode, we took calls. We did live calls from the audience, which was really, really cool. But it had to be split into 2 episodes because we talked to you guys too much.
Too long.
Just like really liked the conversation. And this time, since it is around Valentine's Day, I believe this comes out the week of Valentine's Day, right before. I thought because most of our episodes that people really like have found or have messaged this really helped my life with were the relationship episodes.
Yes.
And whenever we do an Ask Us Anything, they have the opportunity to ask us anything about anything. Yeah. And the majority of people ask about relationships. So I thought because Valentine's Day and 200th episode and the relationship thing that we would talk about our personal top 10 moments in our 10 years of being together. We're coming up on 9 years, I think.
Wait, you said 5.
5 years of marriage.
You said top 5 moments.
No, 5 each.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm about to pull some shit out of my
Math is
ass.
not your strong suit this episode, right?
I think I disagree.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm shining.
My bad.
I'm shining.
How much are you shining? The most?
Quite a bit.
The most.
The most. Thank you. All of it.
Yeah, but the rules on this one, though, I gave Steve. I was like, I don't want to know your top 5. I'm not going to tell you my top 5. But the rules are you can't pick the big ones. You can't
cheating.
pick the wedding was the best moment. Like, obviously, the wedding's the best moment. Obviously, there was some really standout moments that are like milestone moments. Yeah, we get it. I'm talking about some game-changing moments in the relationship. Like, what really leveled up the relationship in a big way? What was
so that you guys can emulate it in your lives, hopefully. Like, maybe. or just recognize these moments.
Yeah, not emulate, but like recognize that it's these little things, not necessarily the big gestures, like the big romantic gestures, although those are really cool. But the things that the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah.
And I think
how it works, how we made it work through those moments.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to hear yours, and I'm going to share mine. We'll just go back and forth.
Okay.
One-on-one.
Square deal.
You go first.
Oh, damn.
Uh-huh.
Well, hold on one second.
Well, I made the rules. I'm the host with the most.
No, that's me.
Oh. What am I?
I don't know. You're Nikki Limo. Okay, here we
That's
go.
it?
Okay. So this one is one that I've talked about before to you, but it really is, I think, the best advice that I could give anybody. I actually was listening to somebody recently on a podcast, and they mentioned doing this, and I was like, oh, so this is something that people need to do more, I think. And it was, so the night before we got married, you and I were just in a hotel room together, and we were raw dog fucking. No, I'm kidding. No, but we
weren't.
We were in a hotel room together, and it was like the night before, like the big thing, right? So like, you know, and everyone's basically in town at that point and stuff, but like, it was just you and me in a room, and like we had a little bit of champagne or whatever, but it was like just talking about our relationship, talking about our lives so far, how we got together, how we got to this point, how we're about to get married tomorrow. And I don't know, man, that's like honestly one of my favorite moments of my life, because it just the next day is so busy. There's so much going on from the time that you wake up to the time that you go to bed. Like, we fell asleep together. Like,
even that night before we it was just us. It was like the wedding rehearsal, and there was just a lot going on. There's like all your family members are there, like,
and you
then,
feel the
like,
need to cater to them.
yeah, and all
course,
your friends are there, and they're all like meeting up at your house, or like, what time is this, and when's that, and when are we supposed to? Blah,
your
blah,
phone's
blah,
constantly
blah, blah.
blowing up from random people who are like, "Yo, where do I park?"
Yeah.
So then, yeah, so doing that with you was great because it just helped me the next day appreciate it more.
Same.
Because we did that, and I recommend everybody do that. Like, I was listening to a podcast, and the guy talked about how he had done that with his fiance the night before, or the day before, I think, and how much it meant, like, because it really is a great day. The wedding day is amazing and stuff, and it really is. That's one of my favorite days ever for sure. But that night in particular, I don't know, especially because we got to just talk about everything before we made the leap. We got to just talk about, where we came from, how we met, coming up together.
Our favorite memories.
Yeah. I don't know.
And we're both really sentimental people too. So I think that really helped both of us to know, like, hey, we're both in the same mental state right now, the same place.
Yes.
We're on the same page. I think that's how it should be going into
a commitment
vowing
like
forever with someone. You like to know that you're on the same page as them.
And I already knew that, but it was about just checking in with each other in a great way. That sounds very corny to some, but yeah, I really, really appreciated that. And I still feel like we have that little bit of juju.
We do.
When it comes to checking in with each other.
Yeah.
Like, our communication skills are off the motherfucking chain.
I honestly, I didn't plan on what if we have the same moments, because that was one of mine too. Well, I said, getting married specifically the night before and the night of, when we took time away from everyone just to appreciate it all. Remember, on the actual wedding day itself too, at the reception in the evening after the sun went down, and it was on the beach. It was on a venue that was overlooking the beach, and we went down to the beach to take pictures. And instead of going back to the party right away, like, the sun goes down because we took the pictures at sunset, and everyone's dancing. You can hear the music. And we just watched from the beach up at everyone all the people we love having a good time. And that was one of my favorite moments of just like that appreciation and reflection of unity and people coming together and to celebrate our love and like that. And to love somebody and to be loved back is amazing. But then to have the support of all of your family and friends there too is just really, that was really special to at least to view it as an observer.
It was bonkers.
Without being like in it.
So yeah, I always will appreciate that.
Yeah,
it was great.
That was awesome. Yeah, I do think our communication is really good like that. If there's like a time of a lot of stress or something big is coming up, we do like take a moment to gather our thoughts together. Yeah. And, we'll probably get to this more, but it's just because I know you so well. Like, I really do, like, know you like the back of my hand, whatever the people say, but like, I really do know like your intentions. And like, when I hear you talk about something, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. Like, almost always. And I'm always rooting for you and where you're coming from, and that helps so much if you can get there with your significant other where you're like rooting for where they're coming from and you want to have their back in all stages of, not just the words that they're saying, but like their intentions behind it. So even if they're not communicating it clearly, you understand what they mean, and you're rooting for them, you're trying to help them, even if you can't articulate it. And so having that with you, our communication level, it's like when you get vanilla almond milk at the store, but I know you meant to get original. And you know what? And so we're at the halftime. We're gonna cut the break. It's the intention that counts. Okay, I put as my number one, even though that was one of mine was that night too. So now we got two crossed off already. We're done. The first freaking 10 minutes of the show. Yeah, this might be a 20-minute episode. Okay, sorry guys, we were too much on the same page. When your communication skills are too good. There you go. All right, my first one was, Dad, you can skip this part. Just go ahead and earmuffs or like skip this part right now. Okay, great. Hey, my dad, turn up the volume. Now that my dad's not listening, and that Steve's dad is to hear about your son fully listening, laying it down. How do you know that's what I was going to say?
I hope so.
If I was going to talk about you beating me up. just domestic abuse.
Dad, put on the Bose. Put on the Bose headphones and crank it all the way up.
Okay, so my first one was making love with you, and that was, I know that was the first and only time in my life that I actually knew the difference between sex and making love. Like, you know, you hear about making love, and I just thought it was just words that were interchangeable with each other. Sex, making love, doing the nasty you know. But making love is actually a whole different thing.
It really is
a whole different level of sex.
Like when she started eating my butthole, I was like, "This is making love."
And then we started experimenting with different foods up there, and this is beautiful.
It was really beautiful.
Really, really
we both
beautiful. I think this was a game-changing moment for me because when we first got together, you had just gotten out of a 4-year relationship. It was like a couple weeks later. You know, it was like pretty wild.
Yeah, I'm kind of a legend.
I wasn't trying to do that. I remember talking to your best friend at the time to not tell you that I kind of liked you for at least 6 months because I wanted you to sow your wild oats. I wanted you to go out there and like have a single boy time and not feel locked down in another relationship because I wanted to lock you down. And I was like, I definitely want a serious relationship out of this guy, but I don't want to be the next fling.
Yeah.
And so when he told you immediately, and then we went on a date immediately and we fell in love immediately, I was like, damn it, I hope this isn't ruining everything. You know, I really hope that this isn't just like, I'm just the first new girl that you've been with since your ex. And so there's feelings that are exaggerated.
But isn't love a complicated thing? Because the fact that it was that easy for us, but also that made it the most complicated thing at the same time for everyone looking in and for us too. And like,
absolutely.
It was just very odd that it happened the way that it happened.
Because I try to tell people to like give yourself the advice that you would give a friend. And if a friend told me, hey, I'm in love with this guy who just got out of a relationship.
If somebody said that on shit they don't tell you, we'd be like, whoa, be careful.
Back. Why don't you slow down, speedboat?
Yep.
You know?
What are you in a hurry for?
Yeah. Cool your jets a
dude,
little.
I just couldn't stop seeing you. It was like, even a night off without you, I was like, I got to see Nikki tonight, or I got to see Nikki tomorrow. I have to see Nikki tomorrow.
And it didn't make it better that all of our friends were kind of telling us like, hey, you're probably a rebound and all this stuff.
They went to the wedding too.
Like, well, they were trying to have my back.
Of course.
And I was like, yo, I am on the same page as you. I totally agree. I would tell me the same thing, but there's something different about Steve. And when we actually made love, which I think was the first time we had like real sex.
Yeah.
The first time I was too nervous.
Yeah.
But like the first time that we like, and I remember everything like in the room visual. Like it's so very visceral.
Very good lighting.
I had a brick wall, like an exposed brick wall that had a big bay window, and then there were sheer white curtains in front of it with the Christmas lights, white Christmas lights around it, and it lit up the whole room. And my floors are really shiny wood. They were like lacquered, and they were like, it was like an old Hollywood.
She kept them very clean too. Very clean.
Yeah, at least they always looked that way. And so the lights were like reflecting off the floor, and then there was like music playing, and it was just a really, really beautiful moment that I had never experienced with anyone in my life. Like a really different level of intimacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was after that night that I was like, no, this is real.
Yeah.
Like, this is really real. And it was like a couple days later where I said, I love you. And you said that you were screaming it in your head during that night.
It was.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Well, I already knew I loved you like on our first date. I was like, shit.
Yeah,
I was
same.
like, shit.
Yeah, same.
I was like, this is gonna hurt, you know. But I didn't feel that way actually. I was just like, my logical brain was
trying
going
to
like
protect yourself.
Let's talk ourselves out of this.
Same.
Let's be good boys.
Yeah.
Right. Come on now. But I had already gotten like, Party Steve out of my system in my early 20s. Like I was in the improv scene, and like everybody's fucking everybody. A lot of that. I actually didn't like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I was in a long-term relationship and coming into LA, and then we broke up, and then I kind of had my little day in the sun where I was dating multiple people like around the same time, and it was great and all, but it was also the worst thing I've ever gone through. Like as far as like, it's great to like that I went through that.
Yeah.
But it was the worst, most empty I've ever felt. Like just not being committed to something.
Yeah.
I have to commit to something.
Same.
If I'm not committed to something, I feel empty.
Mm-hmm.
And so no matter what it is in life, if I'm not committed to something, I'm fucked.
Yeah, we're both pretty all the way in or all the way out people.
I have to be building something.
We don't really half-ass things unless it's something like our taxes and you have to do
them. You gotta half-ass that
But
shit.
so I give it to someone else that's their job and they do that for a living, and that way I don't have to feel bad about it.
But I'm a builder, right? So I have to be building something somewhere, whatever it is. And the idea of dating, or like casually dating or casual sex even, means that you put like 2 blocks up and then you wipe the table every night. And like that, it really does feel like that. It feels like, what have I accomplished?
Right.
And other than like, I got it, got it in. You know what I mean? It doesn't, I don't know, dude. I like to build things. So that's what made it very okay for me to go from one relationship to the other with you. And I never felt FOMO, never felt like I missed out. Looking back right now, the best thing I ever did was that.
Yeah, and it wasn't like our first date was the first time we ever met. It wasn't like we met on Hinge or something, and that was like we went from I love you on the first date. That would be pretty crazy, but we had 3 years of getting to know each other beforehand. So it wasn't as strange. Like there wasn't as much of a get to know you period, because I already felt like I knew a lot about you.
Yeah, and we knew each other on camera mostly at first, and then I got to know you off camera more, like because we would act in skits and shit, and you would always be this dumb broad.
The year leading up to us getting together, because it started Valentine's era, which was like Valentine's era 2012, which was exactly 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So we were both in serious relationships, and we were playing a couple in a sketch, and it was like a 3-day long shoot because it was like a half an hour long choose your own adventure sketch.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I had ever gotten to like actually talk to you in like a more one-on-one situation. And we were both just talking about what we were going to do for our significant others for Valentine's Day. And I didn't know that you were such a relationship guy. A romantic guy. Yeah.
As the Italians
because I didn't hear the best things about you from your significant other.
Thank you.
So and my experiences with you were you were kind of trolly, kind of an asshole. So I was kind of like, okay, her story lines up. But then when you were like opening up about stuff, I was like, damn, this guy actually is so like me in a relationship.
Did you ever hear me bad talk her?
Never.
Yeah,
not
nobody
one
ever did.
time.
That's probably the worst thing about that relationship is that I had, no matter who you talk to, my buddy Richard, anybody, they were all like, you never said one bad thing.
But I never heard a good talk about you.
Well, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The betrayal was so deep. So that's what helped me let go of that. Like, because my plan was to try to get her back because I'm such a fucking idiot, hopeless romantic type. That I was like, I'm going to get this chick back. I'm going to fucking make this work and all this shit. But then you came into my life and I found out that betrayal had happened. And once you betray me, bro, there's no going back.
Same.
I will close you out of my life.
We're such ride or dies that like if I give you like all of me and I'm like, I am dedicated to the throne of Steve.
Yeah.
And then you like throw me under a bus. I'm like, I can't, that hurts so much that I would never saw that coming.
And I'm like, dude, I will have your back in all known universes. You know how they have, when you sign a contract, all known universes and fucking shit. Like, I will have your back throughout every fucking generation, bro.
Yeah.
But when I found that out, I was so devastated to find that out because I had had this chick's back the whole time.
Yeah.
To her parents, to her family members, people talk shit on her. Anytime anybody talks shit on her, I fucking step in and be like, you don't get to talk to her like that, right? All that stuff. And then that's a fine how do you do when you find out later that they're just shitting on your head every time you leave a room. And, I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah,
I'm not just trying to, it wasn't the right fit.
I know, it wasn't the right fit. I'm not trying to bring her down.
No, I'm not either. But I'm just saying.
That just is what it is, like in a relationship.
But when people ask the question, how was he able to move on that easily? It was that just like opened the doors and made me go, holy shit, I can move on with impunity. I'm not at all stuck in the past with this. I could really move on. Now, we found out like early on in our relationship that I wasn't ready to move on from all feelings as far as like, I was blaming you for things through anger.
Same.
that happened in my last relationship because I hadn't processed them yet.
Yeah.
But once we fought through a lot of that, which I'm sure we'll get to still, it was great.
Yeah. So making love, that was my number one on that list.
I have. Okay. I'm going to change it up a little bit because we've gone very romantic.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the argument about the party game.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Let's go there.
So we played a game called Coup. And then we were at our friend Justin Joe's house.
We learned to play this game on JK Party. At the time, I was a JK Party regular. I'd played this game many, many times.
Yes. We're at our friend Justin Joe's house, not from JK.
No.
Other Justin Joe.
Other Justin Joe friend.
And we're like, let's play fucking Coup. This will be fun. We love Coup.
We even Postmated it.
We had it delivered to the house.
Because we wanted to play it so bad.
So then we're playing the game, and I never know if other couples are enjoying it as much as we are, but I know that we were enjoying the game, and we were fucking way into it. Probably way too into it, right? But there was something that happened in the game.
Well, there's also alcohol that happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when you drink, you're very adamant about things.
About rules.
Yeah.
Or about my position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then you flip-flop it, and then you act like that was always your position.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So point being is that there was something that happened during this game.
Yeah.
Where I just wouldn't let it go and you wouldn't let go. Like I wouldn't let my point go and you wouldn't let your point go, which is like a rule about the game or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like that something had happened in the game and like I wouldn't let it go and you wouldn't let it go.
Kind of. It was that you thought you won something.
Yes.
And I was like, well, actually, you didn't really, but I'll let you have it. And you're like, wait, no. How did I not really? I was like, it doesn't matter. We're not taking it seriously. Like, and you're like, no, but I want to know. And then I was like, okay, well, and I explained it. And then you told me I was taking the game too seriously. Right. And I was like, I didn't care about this. You were the one that hounded me to tell you why you didn't win that thing. And so that's why there was a big fight. And I also I didn't like the social environment as the way that you were hounding me to tell you the rule when I'm trying to let it go.
I know.
And at that time, people on JK Party, the people that were watching JK Party were telling me that I take games too seriously. So at this particular party, I was like, I'm not taking this game seriously at all. Like, I'm not even, we're just here to have fun. Like, I'm not here to be competitive, Nikki, or anything. And so when you were hounding me to get this rule out, and then I eventually told you the rule, and then you told me I was taking it too seriously, that really felt like you didn't have my back, and I started bawling, crying.
And that's what I want to get to here. Yeah. Is that was what we got out of that, because dude, it was so funny. This is one of my favorite memories looking back too, because I'm watching the show. You know, I'm no longer as into it as in the show and invested in the show. I'm watching the show now, and dude, the next day, because we went to bed in different rooms and shit, and I was slept on the couch or whatever, and the next day I remember sitting at my computer. You come into the kitchen. I roll my chair into the hallway where I can look right into the kitchen. And I fucking put my arms behind my head and I'm like, are you ready to apologize? What a fucking legend that man is. Can I just say that right now? That man is a motherfucking legend. If you gave me $1,000 right now to recreate that scene in that same moment, I don't know if I could have the balls.
If you were any closer to me, you could hear the steam coming out of my ears.
Oh my fucking God. I thought I was so in the money on this one that I was like, dude, this chick's gonna come downstairs and it's gonna be like, I'm sorry about it. I'm like, yeah, you don't even worry about this shit. Suffice it to say, that is not what happened.
It was not.
You stormed up the stairs in anger. I was like, completely fucking confused, right? I was like the coyote who had walked off a cliff, and then I looked down and I was like, I hold up a sign
that says help.
Help. Yeah. And then I hold up another sign that says, going down. Yeah. And then, but then what was great about this is even though we both had to explain our sides probably 7 times to each other because I was so sure that I was right about this one. I got to know you a little bit more than I thought I did before that. And I think that there's just things about you that I didn't understand. And for me, you know how I get. I can debate anything and it's no problem.
Yes.
And I don't feel any emotional way
Emotions,
about
yeah.
it. I'm just like, let's fucking go. Let's dig in on both sides. Who gives a shit? I love you anyway, right? Like I literally love that stuff.
Yeah.
I am very titillated by debate. Now, when I put you in a social situation where you're trying to maintain your cool, you're actually trying to communicate with me and go, hey, I'm trying to chill out.
Yeah.
And then I'm just keep pushing the button.
Yes, and I hate conflict.
And that was the mistake, right? And now I know that, but I did not know that before. I did not recognize that as much as I know you and stuff. I mean, this was years ago. This was even...
Yeah.
I mean, when was this? This was like fucking...
2018,
2018,
I guess.
yeah. But yeah, so just from that, I mean, I think I got to understand, like, just got to open like another door that I didn't even know was there. That has helped me so much since then. Like, I mean, has anything like that ever happened since? So it's just great. It's a great thing to really dig into the why this shit's happening.
Yes.
And try to understand with the best intentions, right?
Because the thing that titillates you makes me cry and so emotional and embarrassed.
And I didn't, as much as she had maybe told me that, I don't think I realized how serious that was. Like, I think that I was just like, well, yeah, sure, but you're a big girl. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, it's like that kind of bullshit. But it was very, I don't know, eye-opening for me. And as somebody who wants to have your back, it just gave me another tool to put in my arsenal. Where I failed you, I'm able to now go, okay, that's where I can fix it, right? I see that.
Well, it gives us a new language to be like, oh, it's this thing again. Like, we know now, if that ever did even start to happen again, it's like, oh, he's in debate mode, and I don't like arguing in front of people, and or even if it's about something not related to us, something stupid. Yeah,
it's a game. It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah, I just don't like. I just don't like arguing about it. I don't at all. It makes me feel like I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Which stems from childhood and all kinds of stuff that you dealt with in therapy. Now we understand more.
Yeah.
But back then there's still things to learn about your partner. I say I know you like the back of my hand, but that's only through things that I've learned with you.
Well, yeah, and the back of your hand starts getting sunspots sometimes. Things change. They start getting wrinkles,
Not my hand.
Your hand does that. Your hand,
not this fucking
your hand cracked to shit when we first moved to Vegas.
It did.
You can't handle the weather.
It was a red dog.
You used to have the softest hands I've ever felt in my life, and now look at you.
Oh, I still do.
Now, okay, it's calmed down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, true, very true.
Wow, they're back to angel hands.
See, but yeah, no, that was very, very, very. I know that's like not the best story as far as when you're hearing it.
No, it absolutely. Actually, my next one is along a similar vein, but we'll take a break right now.
Okay.
When we come back, I will tell you about my similar moment that I wrote down.
More after these words from the
you
shit.
Don't need to add things.
The shit they don't tell you about network.
Okay, I know you're the host with the most, but you don't need to brag. You don't need to like put it out there for everyone.
Hostess with the most should have more to say before the break.
Cut this out.
Please don't, Mark. Please have my back for once. You never do. Nikki, do you know what microdosing is?
I have heard of it.
Oh, I was hoping that you could tell me what it is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, crap.
Well,
okay.
You've heard of microdosing maybe pertaining to psychedelics or perhaps THC if you're very aware of the microdosing industry. But Lumi actually has these microdosing gummies that have THC, but it's not like taking a full, like it's a microdose. It's not like a full, like we're going to get high in the alleyway.
Exactly.
It's like, it just cuts the edge off of your anxiety. It helps if you have success with CBD products. It helps CBD work more efficiently and thoroughly in your body. It's just like this little tiny itsy bitsy bit. And if you maybe suffer with chronic pain, I've had a lot of friends who have back problems, chronic pain, and nothing was working for them. They tried acupuncture, they tried massages, all kinds of stuff. And microdosing has been doing wonders for them.
Yeah, and I got a buddy who has problems sleeping, and microdosing has worked wonders.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lumi, basically you're gonna be microdosing using these gummies that they send you.
Yeah, and so it tastes good. It's like a candy. But yeah, if you need a little creative boost or enjoy the moment a little more, sometimes I'm not present.
Yes.
And microdosing can really help you just kind of chill your thoughts out so that you can be in the moment. Sleeping, pain, anxiety, workout and recovery, all things that microdosing has been proven to help with. So, Microdose is available nationwide, and to learn more about microdosing THC, just do a quick search online or go to microdosegummies.com and use code STDTY to get free shipping and 30% off your first order.
Links can be found in the show description, but again, that's microdosegummies.com, code STDTY. And you spell gummies Gummies. I didn't know that. I used to think it was Gummys.
Well, when something's plural that ends with a Y, they usually put an IES.
Yeah, but I only went to public school.
Same. Okay, and we are back, and I'm going to tell you about my moment that was very similar in a way that, like, we learned from our biggest blowout fights, or because we don't really fight that often. Like, we don't fight.
We squabble.
But we don't really fight. But there's been a few times that we had like big, like
let's
fight.
Fucking go.
Yeah,
let's go.
Let's row right now, pal.
Let's rumble.
I'm just an emotional person, and when we bring up memories, like, I'm not even getting emotional at like that fight, but just like that we learned so much from that. Like, when you talk about the wedding, even like I know I didn't expect to get this teary eyed. I'm getting very teary eyed.
Good shit.
But okay, so I put two into one basically because it was just these type of moments. But the one where I flipped the table.
Yeah, I got that one.
Okay, you do?
Of course I do.
Okay, well, in the same bullet point, I put the one. This is actually more like the coup one.
Okay.
But we were on a show together, and I won't say anything other than that. We were on a show that never came out. But we had an argument that turned bad on camera.
Oh, true.
And it was
so
about that. Embarrassing.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. And
That's funny.
I had anxiety for weeks and months after that, just thinking about how it was on camera and maybe that show would happen.
Yeah.
And I luckily it didn't. Thank you to the producers behind that show.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that I was scared of like, it wasn't that I was scared of like us fighting in front of people, because I think that, you know, it can be educational. It just, I wasn't able to articulate my thoughts correctly, because that's another thing with us, is that in the moment I need time to like gather all of my thoughts and put them into points and then communicate them. And when it's in the moment, it's like a mush ball of emotion that I can't articulate.
Because emotions are also impacting you.
Impacted.
Yeah.
So,
my mom's the same way.
And so it's like, I know what I want to say, but it's not coming out the way I want to say it. And I know I need to just reformat this, but then now we're on camera. Yeah. And then I fear being misunderstood by not only you, but the other person that's on the show with us. And also anybody that ends up watching this is going to think that I'm a freaking nut job because I can't stop bawling, crying, and I'm not being articulate right now.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of things compounded that we ended up having to talk about in the car.
It was great.
On the drive back. And it ended up being really great for our relationship, because there was another thing that we got to communicate, that you realized that you were doing in jest, but it was hurtful for me.
And I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
It kind of came out in a flood.
Yeah.
Because, you know, before we did the show, like, I think, you know, you had like 2 drinks or something, and it was just more ready on the tip of your tongue, I think. But I'm so thankful for that. Yeah. For sure. Because it's just another thing where, you know, and since that, has that ever happened again?
Never.
So that's the thing. Like,
it was another thing where it was like, I felt like you didn't have my back. You didn't think that you were throwing me under the bus for anything.
At all. But the fact that you felt that way, and we're in a relationship, guys, you're not in a logical relationship. You're in an emotional relationship. That's literally what a relationship is. It's emotions.
That's literally what people are. People think that they're so logical all the time, but we're more emotional than we are logical.
Exactly. But you know, a lot of dudes do the well, I'm very logical, and she's, dude, you love your chick, right? That's your emotions, right? She has emotions, you have emotions. Like, the idea that
even if it's ego or pride,
but the idea that you can't do this emotion shit is bullshit. Okay, it's bullshit. Like, so she seems like she's being more emotional right now because she's crying. But are you really that much better because you're being stubborn as fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a silliness going on for the people who do this bullshit where they're like, well, she's getting all emotional. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, I just think that's all bullshit. So
that's how suppressed emotions happen. It's going to come out somehow.
Exactly.
You know, you suppress your emotions, they come out somehow. And for me, everything comes out as tears and crying.
My mom's the same way.
When I'm overjoyed, when I'm angry, when I'm frustrated, when I'm mad, when I'm sad, when I'm, anything, any sort of emotion, it's like there's too much in my body, so it comes out through water.
My mom could be at the bank and somebody, some lady told her, or she went to the bank because she told them to put the check in the checking, and it went to savings, and then they had a thing bounced, and she's like, I told you to put it, and she'll start crying, talking to the teller lady, like, because she's like, oh, I'm so mad that I'm crying, like, because I just want to be mad.
Then you're more frustrated at yourself for crying.
Frustrated yourself. You think you look silly, but then I just remember being a kid and just trying to listen to my mom no matter what. It's like, just because she's crying doesn't mean that what she's saying is stupid. And even though she thinks that she sounds stupid, I'm like, nothing you're saying is really that stupid.
It's because you've been told all your life that you sound stupid for, like, hey, why don't you stop crying first?
Don't be emotional.
And then try to,
go to your room.
And it's like, oh, I just want to get my point across. I'm so mad at my body for betraying me by crying when I'm trying to get my point across.
Yeah, and I'm just very thankful that I had her.
I'm so thankful that you had her growing up. There's no boyfriend I've ever had that's understood me like you do.
Well, listen to my mom. I got a lot from it. So, I don't think she even realizes how much she's impacted my life in that way. Like, where she's just.
And your mom's a strong lady too.
She's the toughest bird around.
She's super smart.
Super
strong.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. It just drives me nuts.
So the thought that like emotions make her dumb is so crazy.
She feels dumb, and that's wrong.
I feel dumb too. Yeah. I totally get her.
I know.
I feel like. Because I can't, which is a dumb thing to think you're dumb for not being able to manage emotions. Like, it's not an IQ thing.
But that goes back to, I'm rooting for your point of view, right?
Yeah.
I'm rooting for like what you mean right now. And so just, even if you think it sounds silly, I'm like, okay, but what do you mean? And that's part of the, the debate part of my brain too, is I can't wait to hear what people are thinking.
Yeah. So even if you disagree with them, you at least know their point of view.
That's it. Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel too.
So yeah, it's all kind of baked into that cake. But
so you have the flipping the table one. Do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, well, I called it particularly. I called it the end of my coffee table's life.
I also think it's funny, like, as when you were talking about before, as now an observer of the movie, looking back.
Yes.
I mean, we have two different perspectives of how. Well, we have the same like idea of how it went down, but like. From two different viewpoints of, of the way this went down. And I just think it's so funny thinking about one camera following me and one following you.
Well, yeah, and exactly. But the idea that I could go back in time and tell those two that this would be like one of your favorite moments of your relationship is wild. But it also just goes to show how productive we are with arguments. If you can make an argument productive, you guys are going to fucking break through some shit.
So true.
Like, you're going to break through all this bullshit. And dude, if you got to take on life together and you can't figure it out with each other, good luck.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Don't go pushing weddings and babies and houses on yourself if you don't get these basics figured out first.
You got to pound through these arguments. It's just going to make things
worse.
Exactly. So yeah. Basically it was an argument about dishes.
About toothpaste.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But you were doing the dishes at the time.
There was two arguments about toothpaste. No, we were coming back upstairs from the car. I just remember this so vividly.
Okay, you take it away, computer brain.
We were coming back up from the car, or it was coming back up from the garage. I don't know if we were doing laundry or what it was, but I just specifically remember coming up from the garage because there was also a fumbling of keys, and it was just like the whole thing was getting exaggerated by different things happening.
Annoying things happening.
And One was an argument was about toothpaste and how you always leave the cap off. And then the other one was about how you think it's gross that I only brush my teeth once a day and you brush your teeth twice a day.
Like a legend and a champ, I said. Yeah.
And then I said, well, you don't floss. And I, like at the time, and I floss all the time. So am I lesser or more gross than you?
I did get obsessed with flossing you.
Afterwards, yeah. Thank you. But at the time, I was like, fuck you, you're not better than me. I floss. And like, I remember that. And then also like, well, okay, you think I'm gross for only brushing my teeth once a day. My whole family brushes their teeth once a day. You think my whole family's gross?
I was like, yeah, I do actually. Yeah. I do.
And it just started evolving because it was like, it became like this from a nothing conversation to like this actual fucking huge like argument conversation. And it ended with you saying you want to go on a break.
Yeah. I think that, dude, I think honestly, I just needed to lash out because I was still, I had felt maybe influenced by my previous relationship where like, it's like when you kind of are starting to figure out like more about yourself and like, I was doing real life trolling at the time and like it was all going really well. And I felt like this great surge of independence, especially once I got dumped. I was like, I'm never going to love anybody as much as comedy. I remember saying that to you. And I remember telling, basically like setting some ground rules down. Like, you're not going to change me. Okay?
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit. And then once I felt like you were trying to change me. Yeah, exactly. This bitch. But once I felt like encroached on, like, you're trying to change me? Okay, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like overly defensive and my porcupine spikes came out and it was total bullshit. Total bullshit move. That I don't recommend to anyone insofar as telling somebody that you like are breaking up with them or whatever.
Yeah.
That shit is, you better fucking either mean it or you better never say it again. You know what I
mean? And I think your projections too were triggering my ex relationship where I felt like it was a one-way street, where I felt like he would post pictures with other people but not with me, and then you were kind of doing the same thing because you wanted to establish this independence. And it was just like okay, I'll never be loved the same way back as I love someone else. Like, I will always be the one that loves the other person more. I will always be the chaser. I will never be the one chased.
Yeah.
And so that moment was like, cool, another one.
Yep.
And so I just like, he said, let's go on a break. And I just fucking exploded.
Do not break up with this one without a security team. You need a security personnel.
I didn't want to, I wasn't going to hurt anybody, but I was like, fucking leave then. And I just flipped the whole coffee table and ran into the bathroom. I didn't mean it to break it.
I know.
I'm so sorry, coffee table.
Well, it was her time. But yeah.
So you bought it with your ex, so.
I did, exactly. You hated that table. I know you always hated that table.
It's not true.
Because of all the memories.
Yeah, because all the good memories of that table.
So yeah, it was one of those things where I remember I stormed, into the basically hallway kitchen that we had at the time, where she used to shoot all the Tasty Tuesdays in this tiny little fucking hallway.
Yeah.
And
it's called a galley kitchen, but it was a hallway.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Cruise ships have like bigger fucking kitchens in low budget rooms. But so I remember, standing there and probably your angles. You went to the bathroom. You went into the bathroom and closed the door.
And I curled into a ball on the floor.
Yeah.
And I wanted to shut the whole world out.
And I immediately was like, wow, I did not mean that at all. I am just being overly defensive. I had a really, I think I have a good emotional intelligence.
Yeah, you do.
So I was able to assess the situation almost like an out-of-body experience, like very quickly, because I don't even think you were in there for 5 minutes before I came back in.
Yeah, I wasn't.
And so it was just this beautiful moment of realization of like.
Yeah, you held me.
Yeah. But I told myself, I was like, if you go back and if you go in there right now and you say, I'm sorry, and you say, I don't want that.
Yeah.
You can never do this to her again. You can never do this to her again. Because the people who do that shit, we're breaking up. No, we're not. We're breaking up. No, we're not.
Like you're just using that as leverage.
Well, you're actually destroying your relationship slowly. You're destroying the security of your relationship. The security of your relationship is the number one thing you need.
Because then your partner thinks, oh, it could end at any minute.
Any minute,
and
any
then
day.
They're like, well, maybe I should end it first. And it starts becoming like you both have nuclear war buttons.
Yeah, and then good luck with your arguments after that, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you guys have no fucking foundation. So now you're just scared shitless going into any argument.
Yeah.
Somebody gets walked on. Maybe somebody else doesn't. Somebody's like, please don't break up with me. Somebody else is like, okay, cool, couch out on my needs. And then you both are unhappy. So
yeah,
fuck that shit.
I feel like that moment was such a solidifier because I wasn't used to people coming back. So like I just fully expected you to leave and
I'm not a stormer.
Never come back. So when you came back and you hugged me, I was just like, I just couldn't believe you came back.
Oh, baby, I love you so much. Oh, my God. Can't believe I ever put you in any pain at all. Somebody this sweet should never, ever even cry. It fucking drives me nuts. But
cry at everything. I'm really happy right now, okay?
But no, I don't know, man. It's because I really do believe in having security in your relationship. That I was like, dude, there's no way I can ever do this to her again. I never have.
No.
I'm happy to say. Also,
and you said that too. You said, I will never ever do this to you again.
Yep.
And then we pulled the arrows out. It was that same day.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And if you're newer, pulling the arrows out is like, every relationship, I feel like you take wounds like we're talking about literally right now. But the reason why we got through these together is because we, did this really corny thing that I came up with where you pretend to pull an arrow out of your body, you say what it is, and then if you can move on from it, and you
say what the thing was that you were holding on to, the resentment thing that you were holding on to.
And don't do this if you can't let it go.
Yeah, you have to be able to 1000% let it go.
You're showing arrows, not pulling arrows. You can't just show them. You got to pull. Good. Thank you. God,
you're the host with the most.
Fucking the host with the most.
Holy shit.
But no, you're just showing them. You're not actually pulling them, and you need to pull them right. You need to heal. It's time to move on. So yeah, show them, break it over your fucking knee, and then that's when you let it go. Okay, you physically manifest this thing so that you can let it go.
Allow the other person to say I'm sorry, and then that forgiveness can happen, and it heals.
And it really does work.
It really does heal.
I think everybody in our lives has benefited from the arrow pulling method, which I really should have turned into a 7-course thing.
It, yeah.
Should have trademarked it. Should have been like $60 a fucking thing.
Tony Robbins is going to do it on stage and you're going to be like, fuck.
I'll be like, fucking Tony.
I should have gotten my royalties.
And then he calls himself the host of the most. I'm like, well, great. I'm really fucked. I was betting it all on that. God damn it.
You should trademark Crypto King right now.
I'm gonna run. But no, yeah. So that was huge.
Yeah,
that was huge.
That was right before our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah,
I just remember we didn't even make it a year. I was like, I thought this was the love of my life, and we didn't even make it a year.
So that was the capper of our. We was talking about our tumultuous first year, but that was really the beginning of the actual Nikki and Steve that you guys know today.
Yeah.
Where we really understand each other. Like that day was like watershed moment. Like we went to war together and we won.
Because we were just bickering all the time.
Over the stupidest shit.
Over the dumbest stuff. Like the dumbest stuff. It's like
we just didn't want to get hurt again.
Yeah.
And that was it. And we were just punishing each other for
it was just like, oh, there he goes again. He's doing that thing again that I've dealt with for years. I fucking know about this thing.
Yeah, and you too. I'm like, oh, cool. You're gonna try to control me? Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I went through that before. It's not gonna happen this time.
Not gonna happen.
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I love you more than me. Then you love me. That's cool. I'm used to it. I'm used to being a fucking doormat, so that's cool.
You think we're gonna make a YouTube series together? I'd rather kill myself. Because I didn't have the opportunity to kill myself before.
Actually, asshole, I just wanted one picture of us together on your Instagram. You just want just one picture.
Exactly.
You could do it with every other person that you work with, but not fucking me. Okay, cool. That's cool.
Anyway, can you believe we're over it?
So, well, honestly, there was this one time where I was like, I can't believe I'm actually mad about this, but you would tweet your ex every year on her birthday, and you didn't give me a birthday tweet. And I was like, I don't care about the birthday tweet at all. Yeah. I just care that she got it and I didn't.
Well, I thought because I got you a card, I didn't think anything about it.
Yeah.
But then
it added to the it's secret. You don't want the world to know that you like me.
But isn't that great that you communicated that to me?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my God, I love you so much. I want to show you my love. Thank you for communicating that.
Yeah.
Now that's never been a problem since.
And I haven't, it's not like every year I'm like, where's my birthday tweet?
No, it's not like that. It's not like
no,
that.
it's just like that one, the first year where I was like, wow, like every year he would do that for her, like, because he was so proud to tell the world that he loves her. But then, like, for me, it's like, oh, no.
But understanding your love language, because I didn't think anything of it because I saw you every day, every night.
Yeah.
And, like, I gave you card and, like, all this stuff. And but knowing that, I'm like, oh, I will handle that. No big deal. But because you voiced your need, a lot of people out there don't. A lot of people out there sit on it, and they're just like, he should already know and all this shit. But we knock a lot of these problems down because we just fucking go, hey, I want this. And I'm like, okay, I want to give you that.
Yeah, it was less about the tweet and more about that like underlying security where, you came in with all these like ground rules establishing your independence and like comedy comes first and stuff. And it's like, wow, I think he liked his ex-girlfriends more than he liked comedy. But for me, I'm being kind of,
Show by the wayside, yeah.
Yeah, when I thought that in the beginning, like I thought that like on our first date that we were kind of like equal in this.
We were.
Yeah, we were.
I mean, but yeah, I was insecure about it.
And I was insecure about the security aspect.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Now I can't cover up that I cry all the time.
Yeah, you do.
Hopefully the producers of the show don't show me crying the whole time.
They will. Yeah. Okay, next one I have is my turn, right?
I think so.
You kind of
yeah.
Yeah, you kind of
that's
served
it's
that
your
one
turn.
to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Argument about leaving parties.
Oh, I think was that on mine? Yeah.
Okay, this one helped me a lot. This one helped me a lot. So another thing that was just another thing about understanding you versus like, being selfish for myself.
Yeah.
I am a very extroverted person. I literally recharge when I'm in public. I literally recharge when I'm hanging out, talking with people. I love being around people. Even, I could just go sit at a restaurant alone, hear people around me, and for some reason it just refills my soul battery, and I love it. Right?
Yeah.
Even if it's like that, right? So we would go to like house parties or whatever, and it would be Nikki always was like, "Hey, I have to go after a certain time, or else I'll fall asleep." And it was never a big deal if she fell asleep. Everyone always thought that Nikki's like the best, and like if she fell asleep, like nobody cared. So I didn't think it was like a big fucking thing, but it happened enough at a bunch of our pals' places where you were like embarrassed about it.
I was, yeah.
And like when you tell me it's time to go, I like keep on saying bye to people, but then like I keep on doing bits with people or whatever.
Goes for hours.
Goes forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even if it's 30 minutes or even if it's 45 minutes, it's like that's bullshit, right? Like for you, because you're like, I need to go.
Even though it's usually like hours.
Yeah, so but yeah, because you'd be like, let's leave at like 12 and then we don't leave till like 1:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're leaving this party after same thing happened. I'd probably gotten away with this a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But it was just,
it was like
again,
the last straw.
Last straw.
Yeah.
I was being selfish. You wanted to leave. I wasn't quite ready. I was still getting my juju from it all. And then we get in the car and you just fucking light me up. You're like, this sucks. Like, if I say we gotta go, we gotta go. Because like, I don't feel like you're having my back. And there's nothing better that you can say to Steve Green than I don't think you're having my back. Like, I have your attention, right? Mm. So it's like, okay, I didn't realize how big a deal this was. Like, I didn't realize like how seriously you felt about feeling embarrassed if you fell asleep or whatever. But paramount to that, it was just me not listening to you establishing a need. Like who cares if like, you fall asleep and you feel embarrassed and it's like, oh, you don't have to feel embarrassed. That's not what you were trying to tell me. You were trying to tell me, hey, if I need this from you, that's when you need to make sure that you have my back and get me out of there.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck, Tommy? Because you only have enough energy in social situations. Your meter goes down and then you got nothing left.
Uh-huh.
And then you start to panic.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that.
Because I don't want to appear rude or curt with anybody.
Yeah.
But I just don't have any energy left to put on like a social mask.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I mean. It was total bullshit on my part. And having gone through that, like it was a big eureka moment for me. Like, and it's never happened since.
No.
If you say we got to go, I'm like, see you guys. See you in hell.
Yeah. And vice versa too. I mean, like with your needs of being an extrovert, like I want to make sure you get your
you
fuel.
do. You're the best about it. You're the best about it. Even like what we've been doing lately has been awesome for me.
I love it.
I love it.
It fits both of our needs.
It's great.
Yeah. Okay. That actually wasn't on my list, but let's see. Oh, okay. Well, these two are pretty quick, but one is all the times you'll just drop whatever you're doing if I really need emotional support. I just can't tell you how much that means to me, of like that. Like literally any time during the day, no matter what you're doing, if I really needed you, you would drop it all right there,
everything.
right there.
Everything.
Like that's so crazy to me because I can't do that all the time, where I'm like, so like I'm on this and da-da-da. I mean, if you really needed me, I would drop it. But I think that I'm a little bit more needy more frequently.
You are.
Where like I just need to be hugged, or like I need a hug, or I need you to talk me out of something or whatever, and that you're just always there.
Always.
Like you're my rock.
I love to be needed, so it fits me really well.
Your love language matches mine.
Yeah,
that
it
way,
really
yeah.
does. Like I like that you need me for things, and it's not that you can't stand up without me or blah 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 blah.
And I just do think that your emotional intelligence is off the charts. Like where I don't have to say a lot of words to get it across of what I'm going through.
What are you trying to say? Yeah. Yeah.
Emotionally.
Again, thanks to my mom.
Yeah.
Really all credit to her. And especially with, dropping everything for you. My mom did that for us every minute of every waking day, like growing up. Like that's awesome. That was how she showed me love, and that's how I show love.
That's really cool.
Prioritizing, and you're my number one, right? So it's like prioritizing you is, if that's your person, if you marry this person, that's your fucking number one. There is no competition. It's just like, that's your person.
Yeah.
So like, if you need me, well, guess what? You're top of the fucking chart. That's it.
So my therapist was helping me realize that I spent, a lot of my childhood alone, and not to my parents' fault. They were both working full-time jobs, and they left me with a babysitter in the first, 8 years of my life. And then I started being like a latchkey kid, and, I was entertained by the TV, and I never really thought I was lonely, but I kind of was, but I just didn't know because I didn't have anything to compare to.
Yep.
So when I had feelings come up, like there was no person there to like comfort or whatever. Like, so my emotional security blanket was just really short.
Right.
And you like lengthened it for sure. And then my last one is when we watched Californication for an entire week in Costa Rica.
I love that one. Dude, we love that show, Californication.
Yeah.
We love that show.
So background, I mean, we're getting towards the end of the episode here, but we were in Costa Rica. We'd booked 8 days there because we're going to another country. I like to add a little bit extra, another day on there from the week because 2 of the days are taken up by traveling. So we have 8 days in Costa Rica, and on the second day there, Steve drops to the ground with kidney stones. Can't get enough morphine to save his life.
Super fun.
He is bedridden, can't move, can't do anything. We can't go home because we're in such a remote part of the country.
Thanks, TripAdvisor.
We're on the farthest peninsula away from an airport. Like the roads were dirt. Like it wasn't a tourist town at all where we were. There was no way that we could get him to an airport with the condition he was in. And the doctors just kept saying to wait it out. So I thought, I had never dealt with kidney stones before. So I thought like, okay, like 1, 2, 3 days. Okay,
Maybe
we'll still have like 4 more days left of our vacation. And it was not 1, 2, or 3 days. It actually went on for weeks because then we came back and it was Christmas time and you couldn't get the surgery that you needed like in time. And but at the time, because they found
out it was like a millimeter big.
Yeah, it was huge.
I couldn't pass it.
So we dropped all of our plans in Costa Rica, and I would go to the grocery store around the corner. It was like a little village that we were in, basically. And I would go to the grocery store
on an ATV,
pick up groceries. I had to paying cash, and one time I didn't have cash on me, so I had to go to the bank, but it was closed, and so I had to go to the ATM machine. It ate my debit card. Then I had to go to the bank the next day to try to get my debit card back, and they needed my passport to verify that it was mine. I ended up leaving my passport there, and then I couldn't get your medication. It was just a chain of unfortunate events.
But she held it together. When you need, I'm telling you, Nikki doesn't seem like she's got it all together sometimes because she might fall apart. But I'm telling you, when you need her, you could not have a better person in your corner. She's the fucking...
We'll fight to the end.
Destroy anybody.
I will be crying the whole time, but I will fight to the end to get what I need to get done.
Which is funny because today you were wearing a shirt this morning that says sometimes they fall apart and it's a taco. Yeah. And I'm like, that is you. But you are a hard shell taco.
And it tastes good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just go to the grocery store, get ingredients, cook meals like as if we were at home. I was cooking and cleaning like we were at home. It was not a vacation, but the only thing we could do was watch Netflix on my laptop because he couldn't leave the bedroom. Couldn't leave the bed.
Yeah.
And so we just mostly would eat spaghetti watching Californication.
It was great.
For the entire 8 days.
It was great.
And it was fine. Yeah.
Well, why did we even pick this show? Do you remember that?
We picked it because, you picked it.
Yeah, I picked it.
You had just started, you turned it on randomly, and it had 8 seasons. And I had always wanted to watch it, but I had never, tried to watch it.
I heard of it, but I was like, I don't know.
Same. I think I tried to watch it one time, and I just got bored or something. Never made it past the first episode.
I love that show so much, I would watch it again right now.
Same. I got so addicted to their characters.
I love the characters. It felt like they were my family.
Yeah.
It was great.
I get too addicted to TV show characters in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
Attachment issues.
I also really related to Dick Hovney in that show. I mean, he's like
You're a sex addict?
Yeah, he tries to fuck everybody he sees, but
great.
Insofar as he's got his one chick and then he doesn't give a fuck, you know?
Yeah.
I really relate to that. Also, he's like a writer and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I really
I think the way they did it too was good, where you're rooting for him because you're like, why would I root for him? He's fucking all these girls while he's saying he loves this other girl. But the way they set it up was that she actually cheated on him in their marriage. So it's like they were both kind of at fault.
Yes.
There.
It's a great show.
Yeah, it's a wonderful show. Highly, highly recommend
Highly recommend it.
But the fact that we spent our entire vacation that cost thousands of dollars just watching Netflix.
Eating...
because we had no other choice. And it was still great with you.
Prego.
Yeah. But it was still great with you.
It was.
Because it was us.
It was, exactly.
Yeah. That was not a game changer, but it solidified that part that I always knew was there, that we don't need anything. We don't need the bells and whistles. That it could just be us stuck in a room for 8 days straight watching Californication, and I still love it.
That's what happens when you're with your best friend. It really is everything. But, and then people always say or I always have that thought of hey, when you're retired with this person and say all the kids moved out and everybody's moved away or whatever, how are you going to do with them? I'm like, oh, fucking leave me and Nikki alone.
I'm fine.
No fucking problem, bro.
Who knows how many hobbies I'll have by then.
Exactly, bro.
We'll still be checking out new restaurants and new things, and you're going to want to talk to everybody there, and I'm going to be doing some activity in the corner.
How funny is it that I have regulars at the local casino? I have buddies
at the bar.
Yeah. And you have poker buddies over there. And I would say the median age of my buddies is 60.
Yeah. Mine's probably about 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fucking something. A blast. I love it.
It's great. I think, was that all of your list?
Well, my last one's Supermoon. It's kind of a double beat because it's kind of the night before we got married, kind of same situation.
Feeling.
Same vibe.
Yeah.
Very romantic, but also, just to really backfill that memory, me and Nikki were driving back from Santa Barbara one night, and we saw the supermoon, which was an unbelievable event.
It's huge.
And it was
just a huge moon.
We got out of the car and we went under it and we were looking at it.
And we were on a beach.
On a beach, and we were just, I don't know, man. We kind of made out under it, and
yeah. And I jumped into your arms, and
it was kind of sick.
It was pretty sick.
Kind of a great moment. And yeah, it's just one of those things where it
was a movie moment.
It was a movie moment. But we're all on this earth for so long. And but the planet has been here so much longer than all of us. And that celestial body's been there for fucking ever. And the fact that, over all the eons, all these other people got to stand under it and, we and have their moments. And we did too. I just feel part of the tapestry that is life in a beautiful way.
Oh, I never thought about it that way. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I like the connectedness.
Exactly.
It's like
it feels like eons of love and us like together, just another thread in the big blanket.
It's so beautiful. You should be a screenwriter.
Nah, I'd probably write kids movies or something.
Yeah, true. Then you're the host with the most. And that's our show for today. Happy 200 episodes. Yay.
Hey.
If you've been listening since the beginning, thank you for being here. We really appreciate you.
Seriously, you guys are amazing.
If you could rate us 5 stars on iTunes, that would be sick.
Recommend us to a friend.
Recommend to a friend, all that jazz. Also, if you have a question, you would like to ask us anything, whether it's relationships or otherwise, podcast at Nikki.Limo. That's podcast at nikki.limo. You can also check out our Patreon. It helps support the show as well. And also there's a whole bunch of stuff that we do on there. It's patreon.com/sticky, STIKKI. Steve does his Crypto Corner, a live stream, like a 3-hour live stream every week. We also have extra episodes of Shit They Don't Tell You called Shit They Don't Tell You After Dark, where it's kind of more intimate. And we do a live stream together, the Sticky Stream, once a month, where we make a drink and hang with all of you guys.
Get to hang with all you guys on the live.
Play a game usually.
And now we have the ability to add way more people to the live, which is super cool.
Yeah, exactly. We usually invite people to come on stream, and it's a good time. And the people in the Discord are just amazing.
They're
the best Patreon group I've ever encountered in my life. And yeah, I might be a little biased, but probably not. I think it actually is the best.
Also, if you have questions for Tomo, podcast at Nikki.Limo.
He only loves cuddling like this with you.
Dude, he is the best.
He loves
He's
you.
my little buddy. He just crawled up here, just fucking plopped. He's the best.
Franklin was here, but he didn't like
If you're not watching on the tubes, I'll tell you what, Tomo's being pretty cute in my lap right now.
They're like, we're good.
They're like, we don't give a shit. I don't give. Oh, what? I've never seen a fucking cat cuddling with somebody.
Yeah.
Imagine hating on that. It's like, oh, okay. My bad.
My bad. All right, guys.
All right. Love you guys.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Later.